It's Wednesday, May 8th. In the headlines, the health minister dismisses rumors that the government spent $21 billion on Cornwall Regional Hospital. In business news, Rubis Energy Jamaica Limited upgrading its service stations. Regionally, Emancipation Day makes historic return in the Cayman Islands. And in sports, we get updates on the ongoing primary schools championships. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says rumors being spread that the government spent $21 billion on the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James is false. He also rubbished talks that the project has been affected by cost overrun. Minister Tufton sought to correct the misinformation while making his contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday in Parliament. The health minister says, contrary to the misinformation being spread, the reported $21 billion being spent is not only for the rehabilitation of the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
First of all, the $21 billion includes expenditures on Falmouth, on Noel Homes, on building out a new accident and emergency, the previously Mount Salem Clinic, a new diagnostic center outside of the main building. Because for those who care to know the truth, they would appreciate that we had to build a hospital around the hospital to continue the services in order to repair the main building.
The Mount Salem St. James-based hospital, which was built in 1974 and is the only Type A hospital in Western Jamaica, has been undergoing a lengthy rehabilitation process for 6 years. Minister Tufton also responded to news surrounding a possible cost overrun in the construction work being done at Cornwall Regional Hospital.
There is a difference between cost overrun and rescoping of cost. Because what is being bandied about as cost overrun is not cost overrun. What started as fixing a ventilation system morphed into the stripping down of a 10-story building and a replacement of every single window, every single door, every ward, every operating theater. So in effect, what we are doing is building a brand new hospital for the people of Western Jamaica.
Dr. Tufton also informed that over the past year, close to $9 billion has been spent to upgrade health centers across the island. He also noted that $278 million will be spent on the renovation and restructuring process at the University Hospital of the West Indies.
The designs are complete and we will go to market this year, but work is now taking place. UWI has benefited from more diagnostic equipment over the last few years than probably any other time. And the list is there. And that shows our commitment to the University Hospital of the West Indies as the premier tertiary level hospital that has a responsibility not just for Jamaicans, but for the region.
Jamaicans should soon benefit from additional benefits under the National Health Fund. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton made the announcement in Parliament on Tuesday. Dr. Tufton says prostate-specific antigen tests will be expanded and a subsidy will come into effect for pap smear tests.
After we have done the analysis, we are now introducing a $1,300 Jamaican dollars per year screening test for pap smear for women, Jamaican women over 21 years old, so they are able to do a pap smear test once a year for cervical cancer.
The new benefits under the National Health Fund are to take effect June 10, 2024. The Ministry of Education has initiated its school safety protocols in response to recent bomb threats. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry reported threats against Kingston College and Campion College earlier in the day. Minister of Education Favour Williams affirmed that the ministry coordinated with the Ministry of National Security to implement necessary precautions. She stressed the seriousness of such threats, urging citizens to refrain from such disruptive actions due to their detrimental effects on students. The ministry advised schools receiving bomb threats to contact 119 or 876-927-7778. That's 876-927-7778. Tax Administration Jamaica (TAJ) has scheduled a virtual public education session addressing pension and age exemptions on May 8. This as on April 1, 2024, there was an increase in the income tax threshold and adjustments to pension and age exemptions. The tax authority continues its efforts to enhance taxpayer education and engagement through a series of webinars focusing on the recent changes to tax regulations. On May 13, identical sessions will be held on payroll. The TAJ says in a press release that these webinars are open to the public at no cost and will be conducted via the Zoom platform. Furthermore, they will be live streamed on TAJ's YouTube channel, with recordings made available for later viewing. In the business report, Rubis Energy Jamaica Limited has commenced a comprehensive initiative to upgrade its network of service stations across the island. The upgrade project includes general repairs to the canopies and the installation of state-of-the-art LED lighting. Rubis Energy Jamaica Limited's Managing Director, Michael Malatino, said the company recognizes the strategic importance of aligning the company's offerings with international standards. He says, quote, "We are fully committed to revitalizing our service stations, and the investment being made will ensure that they not only meet but exceed the expectations of our customers," end quote. Investors can be ready to collect dividend payments from several listed companies who have set a date for payment or a meeting date to decide when to pay. Salada Foods Jamaica Limited has advised that its board of directors will consider a dividend payment at a meeting scheduled to be held on Thursday, May 30, 2024. Pan Jamaica Group Limited has advised that at a meeting of its board of directors scheduled to be held on May 13, 2024, a second interim dividend payment will be considered. Carreras Limited has advised that at a meeting of its board of directors to be held on Monday, May 13, 2024, consideration will be given by the board for the payment of an interim dividend to shareholders. iCreate, the media and billboard advertising firm, has sold another chunk of Visual Vibe, the most profitable entity in the group of companies. A strategic investment group led by Anthony Dunn has gobbled up a further 10% equity effective February 21, 2024, having already acquired 30% interest in the iCreate subsidiary last December. As a result, the strategic partner now owns 40% of Visual Vibe. Currently, iCreate has been suspended from trading its shares on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Time now for an update on movements in the financial market with Denise Williams.
During trading on May 7, 2024, the following companies valued at 500 million Jamaican dollars or more in assets represent the total volume leaders on the main market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 2,651,848 units amounted to 32.63% of the market volume, representing all the stocks traded on the day. Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 1,188,497 units amounted to 14.62% of the market volume, representing all stocks traded on the day. QWI Investment Limited with 1,028,929 units amounted to 12.66% of the market volume, representing all stocks traded on the day. During trading on May 7, 2024, on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the following companies represent the overall volume leaders on the junior stock market, with companies valued at 50 million or more Jamaican dollars in asset value. Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited, with 9,029,844 units, amounted to 63.07% of the market volume, representing all stocks traded on the day. MFS Capital Partners Limited, with 1,958,225 units, amounting to 13.68% of the market volume, represented all stocks traded on the day. Spur Tree Spices Jamaica Limited, with 960,813 units, amounted to 6.71% of the market volume, representing all stocks traded on the day. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on May 7, 2024, registered a volume of 177,862 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at $3,423,045 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 18 cents. Grace Kennedy Limited was the volume leader, with 45,990 shares changing hands for a value of 179,846 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 15 cents, followed by NCB Financial Group Limited with a volume of 29,038 shares being traded for 78,602 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 22 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 7, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $75.2 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $85.4 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.56, bought the US dollar for $156.21. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.35, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $2.02 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold for $115.55 and bought for $113.53. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.38, selling it for $197.56 and buying it for $191.18. For our credit report tip of the day, we encourage you to improve your credit score. A higher credit score can increase your chances of securing a favorable mortgage rate. Take proactive steps to improve your credit score, such as paying bills on time, reducing credit card balances, and avoiding new credit inquiries. Over time, these actions can positively impact your credit worthiness and lead to better mortgage terms. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams.
In regional news, Minister of Energy Stuart Young emphasizes that Trinidad and Tobago's outlook for natural gas remains promising. More in this report from Sunil Lala.
Speaking during this country's latest natural gas audit, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Stuart Young said energy companies including BP and Shell recently reaffirmed their commitment to continue operations in TNT during a recent visit to London.
Operators continue to invest in natural gas as evidenced by BP's SIP development, which started drilling the first of 7 wells in February, and it's planned to target a resource estimate of 479 BCF and deliver first gas by 2025. Development drilling is also ongoing by Touchstone in the onshore Cascadoo field, as well as exploration and development drilling by EOG in Parula.
Minister Young said based on projections from the audit, natural gas production remains encouraging.
Right, so we're looking at 11.4 TCF of gas, trillion cubic feet. And when you marry that with what was, for example, utilized and produced over the last 2 years, it was just under 1 TCF. So by projection, if you have 11.5 million TCF, you're looking at about 11, if we to continue gas production at current rates, 11 more years of natural gas in our domestic fields.
He said government continues to encourage exploration companies, which would result in an increased reserve for the country.
Is when you look at the exploration column, and you would have seen from the years 2012 to now. So in 2012, under exploration, it was 31.6 TCF of gas, trillion cubic feet, and now we're at 56 trillion cubic feet. That's the potential that's out there. So what Trinidad and Tobago needs to do is work with the industry and get persons to do that exploration, especially as we know the next frontier is in the deep water.
And with the Loran Manatee field in the pipeline, the minister said this would significantly increase natural gas production within the next decade.
So when that Manatee gas starts to come on stream, and eventually Loran will come on stream, you will see that immediately moves Trinidad and Tobago off of one field, Loran Manatee, doubling the current amounts that we have in that P1, C1 category there right now, Sean. So there's a lot of potential. What I will say, based on the work that we've been doing, some of the deals that we've structured, etc., Dragon will come.
With these potential additions, Minister Young said he expects significant increases in TNT's natural gas production from 2027 onwards. Sonolala, TTT News.
In the Cayman Islands, the reinstated National Emancipation Day holiday after over 6 decades was commemorated on Monday with festivities including music, dance, historical exhibits, food and fireworks along the Georgetown waterfront. More details can be found on CIG News.
The last Emancipation Day was celebrated in the Cayman Islands 62 years ago until this year. The return of Emancipation Day marked 10 days of celebrations here in the Cayman Islands. On the first Monday in May, the day will be celebrated annually. This year, thousands of residents and visitors, both young and old, headed to Seafarers Way, also known as Hogstye Bay, to enjoy the food and festivities. There was singing by primary school students and adults from various local bands. The Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Ports, read the proclamation and gave remarks, while a commemorative Emancipation Day plaque was unveiled. There was a fireworks show, and for the first time, a light display show of things Caymanian using more than 600 drones in the air at one time. The popular Swanky Kitchen Band also entertained the many people who attended the year of the return of Emancipation Day.
In Barbados, a contingent of 250 Liberians embarked on a journey this week to explore their ancestral origins and embrace their Barbadian heritage. This group is integral to the Sankofa Pilgrimage Initiative, initiated by Prime Minister Mia Mottley approximately 2 years ago. Rachel Agard filed this report.
Today we join our Liberian cousins here in Barbados as part of a pilgrimage voyage dreamt and thought of by our very own Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley some 2 years ago. Ambassador Lorenzo Witherspoon put it into place, and we joined them here at Hillcrest St. Joseph.
The beautiful Bathsheba backdrop provided the cool ocean breezes that created the perfect setting for this cultural interaction. The conversations on the cultural exchange began 2.5 years ago by then Minister of Culture, John King. Now a senator, he tells CBC News he was surprised to learn there were no ties between Barbados and Liberia, and so the seed was planted.
This is the beginning of us looking to see if we did this with Liberia, what other African countries we can find Barbadians, and where else in the world do we find Barbadians who need to link with Barbados at this particular point in time.
Head of the pilgrimage group, Ambassador Lorenzo Witherspoon, described the trip as a labor of love. He says when Prime Minister Mia Amor Mottley approached him about the trip, he could not say no. He adds, during conversations with the Prime Minister, they both realized none of the 346 Barbadians returned home following the 1865 voyage to the village of Cruiserville.
The place is so much like home. like Crozaville, where we lived and grew up, and where our ancestors lived in their pursuit of building Liberia. And so everybody feels at home, just like I did the first time I came here. And that's the beauty of it. And so many people have talked to me about investment in property. They want to come here. They want to come here after they retire. This is home, and which is good because that's what the Prime Minister wants to see happen. She wants to bring her people back home to help to, A, grow the population, diversify the economy, and give them a stake in the construction or the reconstruction of Barbados. Because I told her when we met, I thought Barbados could become the next Malaysia, and it can.
Also making the voyage is Liberia's first female president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She says she previously visited Barbados in the 1970s, but sees this trip as a great opportunity.
I particularly want to be here for the opportunity to meet the Prime Minister. And I think that for me is the biggest event for me, as I will be seeing her. And I'll have a chance to discuss with her on global issues.
In sports, we're trackside with athletics. Nagohead Primary is leading the teams heading into today's finals of the Insport's Devon Biscuits Primary Schools Central Championship at GC Foster. On day 2 of the championship, Nagohead won 3 of the 8 relays and amassed 89 points after 11 finals, 12 points ahead of second-placed Greater Portmore on 77 points. Defending champions, Spanish Town Primary are third with 74.5 points ahead of St. John's Primary in fourth on 58 points. Davis Primary completed the top 5 on 33 points. The winning school will walk away with $350,000, with $250,000 going to the second-place team and $200,000 for third. 4th to 10th place will collect $100,000 each. 29 final events are set to determine who will be the Central Championship winner. Now on to the pitch with cricket. West Indies head coach Darren Sammy is looking at his spin trio to exploit conducive conditions in the Caribbean during the T20 World Cup in June. The Desmond Haynes-led selection panel has selected left-arm spinners Akil Hussain, Gudakesh Muti and off-spinning all-rounder Ruston Chase in the 15-man squad for the June 1 to June 29 tournament in the Caribbean and the USA. It is the hope of Sammy that the trio can deliver as the West Indies look to become the first host nation to win a World T20 title.
Look, what Moti and Akil, who I think is in the top 3 T20 bowlers in the world. What we've seen of Moti, we also have Ruston Chase, who's been bowling really well. He's now on the A-team tour as well, doing well. And we also have somebody like Hayden Walsh as well, who's also been doing well. So the impact of spin in the region has always been something throughout our competitions, even in the CPL, that plays a massive part. And we believe we have right now 2 of the best guys, 3 of the best guys in the team to help us counteract that or be more effective in that department. You know, and again, I say we're ready. You know, all the preparation, all the thought process, identifying the key roles that we need to be effective in to help us win has brought us to this moment, and we have the guys that are ready to go out and execute for us.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.